The Cleveland Browns have really made some big moves to start this new league year and will finally be able to go through a whole season with Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. The Browns have prioritized beefing up their defensive line as well as some holes that they had in their secondary. But we also had some breaking news today about the Browns acquiring former Jets second overall or second round pick Elijah Moore, the wide receiver, who will come over here and add a whole new dynamic to this offense. Now, in this video, I'll be breaking down the three major factors that will lead the Browns to Super Bowl contention next season. However, before we jump into the video, make sure you guys smash that like button if you think the Browns have gone better this offseason so far. Obviously, there's still a lot of time left, but if you think they've gone better over this past week or so, let me know by hitting that like button. Let's see if we get the video up to 200 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to be covering the whole entire NFL offseason period, which includes, the draft, free agency, trades, whatever happens. I will be keeping you guys notified, so make sure you guys turn on them notifications. But one last thing, comment down below who you think is the most underrated player on this Browns team right now. I'm very curious to see who you guys think it is. Personally, I love Elijah Moore, and I think he's going to prove to the entire world, especially the Jets, why they made a huge mistake trading him away to Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's jump into the video. Now, the first major factor for the Browns will be improving in the passing game. They need to, tremendously. Now, I did some research on this previous season for the Browns, and all of these numbers I'm about to tell you are heavily influenced by, the games where Deshaun Watson was out. So keep that in mind. All of these stats don't rely on, when Watson was in the lineup. It's throughout the whole entire season when Brissett was even in the lineup. So I do want to say, before I get into those bad stats, I do want to say and take some time to praise and give flowers to Nick Chubb and this Browns running attack, because they were amazing. The Browns ranked number 10 in yards per rush, number 5 in rush yards per game, and number 6 in rushing touchdowns per game. The Browns had one of the best rushing attacks in all of football last year, led by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But like I said, I haven't said it yet, but Kareem Hunt is most likely going to departure away from Cleveland. There is still a chance they bring him back, but they need to keep in mind that if he does leave, they're going to need to find someone to fill that role. I mean, they could do that in free agency still, or they might have to do it in the draft. We'll see what they do, but if they can retain Kareem Hunt, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think they should retain or get back, Kareem Hunt for a year, or do you think they should go out, sign someone new, or draft someone in the draft? Or do you guys think that you have the number 2 running back on the roster currently? Let me know what you guys think about that. But now, like I said before, let's get back to the passing attack. It needs work. We've already heard rumors that the Browns are kind of, trending towards moving to a more pass-heavy attack on offense now that Deshaun Watson is going to be back for a full season. Now, the Browns last year ranked number 23 in completion percentage, number 20 in pass yards per game, number 21 in pass attempts per game, number 22 in pass yards per game, and number 24 in sacks allowed. So, listen, the Browns' passing attack was brutal last season, and it made them so one-dimensional. Not only do they need to find a way to protect Deshaun Watson more, but they need to get Deshaun Watson into rhythm early into games by just giving him some easier throws, in the first quarter. Just, let him heat up, man. Let him heat up a little bit. Now, the good news is the Browns have already started making improvements throughout the offense for Deshaun Watson. Now, they added former Texans tight end Jordan Atkins to the team, which might not be the biggest acquisition or even the flashiest pickup in the offseason, but I do like it a lot. Now, as you all know, Jordan Atkins had some of his best years with Deshaun Watson back in Houston, and now their tight end room is actually pretty deep with David Njoku, Harrison Bryant, and now Jordan Atkins as well. I mean, that's a pretty deep tight end room if you ask me. Now, the Browns also today added Elijah Moore, and in my opinion, it's going to be one of the most slept on acquisitions of all of the offseason. I think he is one of the most underrated players in the league right now, or at his position, I should say. Talent was never the issue with him. I fully expect him to have a breakout season for the Browns this season, and I would not be shocked to see if he's one of the best playmakers on this team all of next year, man. He's that good of a player. Listen, I know he didn't look good for the Jets over the past couple years, but listen, I'm telling you, talent was not the issue in this scenario. It was not. It was not. I know you guys are probably going to say, oh, Garrett Wilson did this. Oh, Garrett Wilson. I know. I get it. But also, you got to understand, Elijah Moore played a lot of the games, but he wasn't getting the snap percentage that he should have been. He should have been on the field almost every single play, and I feel like there was, some sort of beef going on, whatever happened, it's going to be a whole new different scenario over here in Cleveland. I think he's going to be the number 2 wideout. You could say Donovan Peoples-Jones, but they play two completely different roles. He's more of a, go up and get it. Elijah Moore is a speedy little slot guy who can get open. So I love that addition for the Browns. Now, when you look at the weapons, Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore, you got Jakeem Grant, David Bell, Njoku, Atkins, Harrison Bryant, Nick Chubb. I mean, dude, this is absolutely stacked. Now, let's move on to the second major factor for the Browns going forward. It's going to be the development of the front seven outside of Myles Garrett. Now, the Browns defensively were pretty terrible last year in terms of stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. The Browns ranked number 25 in yards allowed per rush, number 25 in rush allowed per game, number 29 in rushing touchdowns allowed per game, and number 22 in sack percentage. Now, again, some good news is that the Browns have done some work to add to this group already. Starting with some defensive tackles, they brought in Dalvin Tomlinson, Tristan Hill, and Maurice Hurst to give, depth to the position. But at this point, it seems like Dalvin Tomlinson, the former Viking defensive tackle, will come over here and be the starter going forward. He's a big body who will tremendously help in the run defense. But the other guys will also add a lot of depth and flexibility as well, especially if there's injuries. He will these guys, Maurice Hurst and Tristan Hill, will definitely get onto the field and come in and out of the games. So I do like those additions as well. Now, I give the Browns an A+ in that category. They did what they need to do and address that run game. They also brought in former Texans pass rusher Ogbo Okoronkwo. I don't know if that's how you say his name. I probably butchered that. But either way, they brought him over for the Texans, and he's coming off a career year where he had 5 sacks for Houston, and hopefully he can come over and help produce some sacks with Myles Garrett. Now, if this front seven can continue to grow as a unit and stop the run and improve in those two categories, like I said, getting to the quarterback, creating pressure, and stopping the run, this defense is going to be amazing. The pass defense last year was pretty damn good. And they also added former Chief safety Juan Thornhill, who I think will be a day one starter going forward as well, alongside Grant Delpit. I think that's a pretty good, safety duo back there. But let's move on, or actually before we move on to our third and final factor for the Browns going forward, make sure you guys smash that like button if you've enjoyed the video so far. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm going to be covering the Browns and the rest of the NFL all year long, so make sure you guys join the family. But also, let me know in the comment section, do you guys agree with what I'm saying? Or if you don't, let me know where I went wrong or what you think differently. Listen, it's just my opinion. All of this is just my opinion. So if you guys have something you disagree with, please tell me. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, man. Listen, I'm very unbiased. Whatever you guys say, I will take into, I'll think about it, and I'll look at it, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. So let me know what you guys think. But let's get into the third and final facts of the Browns. We'll be continuing to add in free agency. Now, the Browns don't have too many early draft picks coming up. I believe they just traded their second-round pick to the Jets. In return, they got Elijah Moore in a third-round pick. So I don't think their first pick is until the third round. So they definitely have some holes that they need to fill, including O-line, running back, and corner. Obviously, the O-line can always use some depth. Running back, like I said before, if Kareem Hunt doesn't re-sign, you want a second running back. And then cornerback. Depth is the most important thing in football, and if you don't have it, it could completely ruin a season. Now, the Browns only have 4 corners on the roster right now, and then you add on 2 nickels, so I guess 6 corners, you could say. But they should definitely add some more depth as well, and like I said, a backup running for Nick Chubb if Kareem Hunt's gone. Although Jerome Ford and John Kelly are cool, I just don't know if they're ready to be leaned on to be a backup running back next season. Let me know if you guys think otherwise. But like I said, the Browns will have to be very precise in this upcoming draft because I don't like I said, I don't think they have a pick until the third round. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do here over these next few days, few weeks here. Like I said, I will be keeping you guys updated, so make sure you guys join the family, turn on post notifications, and I literally post every single NFL signing. I give you guys my opinion, my grading. So if you guys want any of that news, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, join the family. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think the Browns can do next year? I mean, a lot of teams are getting really good, man. So let me know what you guys think, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.